recite the pledge, please.
He was the deputy. She's now the deputy.
So we need approval of the agenda and additions. Do we have anything?
I approve the agenda.
Approval of agenda and additions.
Two versions.
Okay. You're doing this, no problem.
And that doesn't need to be.
But did we second this?
Yes, Joel made the motion, we all have to vote on it, and Olga seconded it. All in favor?
All right, hang on. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
We're gonna treat him how to not need a mic.
Yeah.
Give us a second.
Yeah. Is public comment now? On the, yeah, public comment on 2 minutes per person on agenda items only.
We don't have an agenda.
Oh.
We had extra copies of it.
Did you?
Yes, we're all gone.
We gotta fill this one off.
Sorry, they didn't do enough.
We don't have-
If you
yeah.
got some, I know there's 15 of them out there, if they could pass them out, take a look at it.
There's 15.
Raise a 15. 15, by the way. I said the online people are muted, by the way.
On the agenda, all right. So we're gonna wait.
Next month, we're all gonna be at the township hall.
I noticed you put that in the new dates, I'm glad about that. Although this is kind of airy, you're afraid of me.
Well, right.
I'm afraid of this leading to those holidays, I don't know what to say.
Right, I can read off some of this, right? You wanna know it? It's on the agenda. All right. I'll read off what's on the agenda if it helps you out. Basically, number 10 is gonna be the old business. We're talking about the Zoom meetings. We're gonna keep continuing that. I feel that's something we need for our township.
Just read off what's on here.
What's that?
We're gonna be talking about
Right, that's on the agenda. They need to know this.
it. They didn't know Zoom meetings are on the agenda.
Yes. We're gonna extend, talking about the extended moratorium on the solar. New business, there's gonna be my designations on the board, BOR members, the ZBA. We're gonna talk about snow plowing for the township, the poverty guidelines, land division for Matt and Sharon Gruden. We're gonna talk about the internet, Mineral Conservation District membership renewal, the deep well CO2 moratorium, and issues from the board member. So, there you go. Any public comment?
My name is Erica Schell. I do not live in Milan Township, but I am an attorney on behalf of a number of interested residents who are very passionate about the issue of solar in this community. And here to urge this board to extend the moratorium to August 31st, 2023. That would give both the board and the planning commission adequate time to consider the thoughts and concerns of the community. And regardless of what decision the board ultimately makes, the only way to make sure that the township is protected against liability or lawsuits is to extend that moratorium to make sure that you guys have time and the planning commission has time to make a thoughtful decision. On the merits, the overwhelming public concern is in maintaining the agricultural character of this community. That's what kind of community these folks live here for, and that is the way it should stay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Bill Plum, Milan Township. The surrounding communities of Milan Township have set the precedence, and the high standard has been established concerning the industrial solar farms issue. No industrial solar farms in ag. It is honestly that simple. Likewise, it is imperative, absolutely critical, that this board also adapt the moratorium extension to protect Milan Township. The overwhelming majority of Milan Township residents expect this from you. Your planning commission has recommended this to you. Please solidify this sound and sensible solar ordinance. Lacking this community protection, this will forever radically change the landscape of our beautiful community. Please choose the path of progress and preservation, not the path of future regret. This critical industrial solar farms and ag issue will be yours and Milan Township's defining legacy. Thank you.
Thank you. It is.
Al Lindeman, Milan Township. I just wanna reiterate what you've heard. I think we need to give our new supervisor a chance to wrap his head around everything that's going on. I've heard from a lot of good, reliable sources, you're a very smart man. So, I think we should do the moratorium and let you do some research in your own way, and, I think that's the right way to go.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Good afternoon, I'm Chris Hornbeck from Milan Township. Throughout a lot of these meetings, we've heard about the book of ordinances and rules that our board has to go by, structure themselves. The United States was founded on the book. A book that's much more important, much more detailed than the book that you guys are using to govern your rules and your structures. I ask that you would refer to that book. It's a pretty good book. It's the #1 seller. The author's pretty well known. I think if you use that as a guideline, nobody in this room will have any issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Moving on. We gotta do the minutes from the last meeting, right?
At least that's my assumption. That's my assumption.
Unfortunately, I can't do a lot, because I really wasn't here.
Nobody's gonna post it, nobody has to come.
Everything good? Wanna approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last meeting.
Second.
That's when you say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Aye. All disbursements on the roll call vote. Disbursements.
Okay, we had $32,375.98 in, payments that were made. And in the month of November, and the payroll was $8,088.81 for total disbursements of $40,464.79.
Questions?
Just have to be roll call.
That's true. We got questions for the roll call, I think.
So, I'll make a motion, we, accept the disbursements.
So you do a roll call, is that correct?
I'll second that.
Now you need to do a roll call, right?
Yeah.
Bob?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Myself? Yes. Joel?
Yes.
Olga?
Yes.
Motion carried. Fund balances.
General fund has 481,904, tax account has 19,186, fire fund has 94,615, road fund has $112,066. You have a total of 707,773. I've got, what is it, I got 4 CDs coming up here this month, so we're gonna go from probably 0.2% on those to 1.5 or 2, so that's gonna be really good. The CDs come to 368,966. We still have the COVID relief money at 159,414. You have a grand total of $1,184,335.63.
I like it. Wanna second that one?
Sure. I'll second that.
Who made the motion?
Yeah, I'm gonna make a motion, accept that.
Yeah. Second.
We have to roll call vote on that?
Didn't spend nothing.
Well, that's a good thing, right? Motion carries.
All in favor, say aye.
All in favor, say aye.
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 There we go.
Building report.
All opposed?
Oh, all opposed? Nothing. This is pretty fun.
You're getting there.
We're getting there.
During November, 3 permits were issued totaling $375. David Friend worked 6 hours at the hall and made 3 inspections. There were no mechanical, electrical, or plumbing inspections. Expenses for November totaled $375 in the building report.
I'll make a motion to accept the billing report.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Motion carries. We gotta get that down bad.
You're getting there.
This is too much fun. Assessors report. I think she's on.
Karen,
one.
are you here?
I don't think anyone can hear.
There you are.
Okay, so you can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, alright. Should I go ahead?
Yep.
For field work, I'm continuing inspections for pending building permits. We'll be wrapping that up soon. Finalize land values and DCFs in residential and agricultural classes. Working on commercial and industrial.
So he's just eager insurance
Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to, on the assessor's report.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Milan Fire Department report.
That's usually you.
Oh, that's nice.
You went to one, didn't you?
No, two of them actually.
All right, chief.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that's, I'll get her up here. That's yours. That says, that's last number. No, only told me to make a report. I can wing some of that.
Okay.
I did go to the meeting, we had to reschedule it for the 1st of December, and it was due to York Township Supervisor was out sick. So we reconvened on December 1st, approved 2 new firefighters, or I shouldn't say 2 new, but 2 full-time staff units now in Milan. And it's actually going to beat the response time by 1 to 2 minutes even faster than what they're at, so. It's actually a bonus for us, all the township agreed, the city finally got on board with it, because they're having some budget problems. They did purchase ordered a brand new Explorer, or, no, Expedition, right over, yeah.
Either, something starts with an E.
Yeah. Cause their excursions, kinda going out, so they did order a brand new, Expedition, and, that's kinda about it, there wasn't really much to carry on that night. It was just all about getting the 2 firefighters up to speed and how they're gonna use their staffing and how they're gonna do it. So it's definitely gonna speed up response time, especially in our township, we need that. They don't have to no longer go to the fire department, they're already gonna be there and take off, so. I did talk to Bob, he said it's working out really well. That's it on the fire department.
I think that's just in the middle of the day, they have the.
Yes, it's only, I think it's 8 to 4 or something.
Yeah.
It might be 6 to 4, I think it's 10 hours a day. So, that's all I got on the fire department report.
I'll make a motion, we accept the Mark's first fire board meeting report.
Yeah, next time I know what to do.
Support.
Alright, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now, we've got old business. I actually got some, I think. Any old business?
Zoning.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely gonna do Zoom. We're gonna do the Zoom meetings from here on out, cause I feel it's important to be transparent to all our audiences, and if somebody's sick, they can sit home and watch it. I just feel it's really important to keep it going. It's all recorded, so if something makes an error, we can find out what's going on, try to correct it, and move forward. That's all I got on Zoom meetings.
So, who are they have to do, my deputy or?
Yeah, your new deputy that you need to, introduce.
Somebody new to overwork.
Yes.
I think it is nice that when people can't come or they're sick or whatnot, to be able to see this. You know, there's a lot of people that don't wanna come out in the middle of winter.
Oh, I agree. That's definitely a safety issue.
All right.
Do you have anything else? I'm assuming, but you wanna introduce your?
I would like to introduce my new deputy. Her name is Jenna Payne, and, I guess she's gonna be the one doing the Zoom meetings here at the board. And, so we have it recorded, and
Okay.
I don't know about the planning commission yet, but at least at the board meeting.
She does have a lot of history with the township, cause I think your grandmother was the clerk,
Yes, she was.
and what was your grandfather? Was he a trustee, I think?
Yes.
Yeah.
You don't remember?
Yes, she was.
Yes.
Yeah, been with a long time. Alright, moving on to the next thing, you got something else, or you wanna move on to?
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna extend a moratorium on solar for June 8th, 2023. As I got notification from the planning commission that they're, are working on a new ordinance, obviously, or working on it. And they're gonna hopefully have this done in the next couple months. We can always, come back to that moratorium and shut it down if we don't need it. Any questions on that?
You got June 8th on this.
Yeah.
Is that 6 months from?
Well, we can fix any date we want.
Right. I got no problem with June 8th,
That's our meeting.
Right.
So that would be
I just
another-
wondered because it doesn't come up until, January.
January.
So
That's right.
January to 6 months from the January meeting would be July 8th. But it's no problem to extend it in May or whenever you gotta do it, it just gives them more time. I'm hoping that they're gonna be done with it way before June 8th, so we can get this done.
Amen.
So, I make a motion, we extend the moratorium till June 8th, 2023.
Support.
Yep. Second that if we have to.
She did.
She did, she supported.
Now you say all in favor.
All in favor, say?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Three yeas and two noes, motion carries.
June 8th. New business.
I actually got some old business I want to talk about. It's not really on here, but- Actually, I can bring it up in here. Yeah, it's not a big deal, this is pretty minor stuff. Yeah. Okay, under new business. We gotta get some, new members on the BOR, which is the Board of Review. Actually, they're all due for their, 2-year commitment. And actually, I wrote down all their names, everyone's on here the same except for, I got Kent Wessel on here now. No, I don't. I got Dave Conger on this one, which is the guy who lives on Far Road, he's been at the City of Milan for 7 years on the Planning Commission, he was on the CBA board there also. Like, you make good and that's just gonna be an alternate. He's gonna be an alternate, yeah, cause, Dave, or Mr. Birchmeyer is no longer gonna do it, he got a full-time job, doesn't have time. So we got Richard Zorno, Blaine Linderman, and Sam Mills who are on the BOR, they just gotta be next week. Yep, sworn back in again, so. You guys have any questions on it, or concerns, or issues?
Who's the new ones you say you had?
Dave Conger.
Oh, so there's just one new one, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Birchmeyer came, but it's an alternate.
Oh, so it's really not changing, just the alternate, okay.
Yeah, but you still gotta get him on here.
Yep.
And then, on the planning commission, we have one gentleman who's coming up for term, which is Matt Wallini. And I talked to him, he said he'd like to stay on it, possibly, I don't see that as being a problem.
No problem.
Good.
Yeah.
And then on the ZBA, we got, since I have to get off it now, cause I can't be on both boards, is Kent Wessel, and he was actually on it quite a long time ago, I think when the railroad come through, I think he was on it then. So he wants to rejoin and be on that again. And I'd like to put one more person as an alternate on ZBA in case we have a problem, if that's any problem. His name's Alex Rice. His whole family's been in the township this whole life, he's young blood, keeping on as an alternate.
We need young blood.
Yes, I agree. Other than that, that's all I got. Planning Commission, Board, the ZBA, we're good. I know Bob Homrich is gonna get up, he's up for term too, but I talked to him, he wants to be back on it, he wants to stay.
Oh, okay.
So we should be all set there.
Okay, and you need to bring his job and you need to bring his certificate.
Yes, actually, they're coming in next Tuesday for, the BOR deal.
Oh, okay. So I mean, you have all these people started.
Yes, yep, I'll get with them, tell them to come down and get all that set up. Okay, moving on to the next.
Do we have to make a motion to
Yes.
accept all those people?
Yes.
I make a motion that we accept all of the people for the BOR, ZBA, PC members.
Yes.
I second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That may be. All right, now we got a little issue. We're gonna have to have snow plowing for the township hall now. Kevin's no longer gonna be doing it, so we gotta send that out for, bids probably. You guys have any
Yes.
recommendations?
We're just gonna put it in the paper, and anybody that knows anybody that does snow plowing, tell them to come on up and give us a bid on it. And then we'll pick somebody this next month. Of course, it could snow between here and there, I can always bring my tractor down if we don't have anybody there. I know some people, or somebody knows somebody that will get it plowed until we get somebody.
I guess the question is, should we set the thing up like maybe so many inches before they come plow too, or just every time it snows?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you would have to,
Like at least 3 inches of snow before you plow, cause otherwise they'll be out when it's a half inch, and then that bill will get crazy. 2 inches maybe?
I don't know, Kevin, what'd you do before?
Did it whenever it needed it,
It's like couple inches,
just when I was out.
alright,
Just, they should put in their bid what they'll do, usually they know how to do that.
right.
No motion carrying that, do we?
No, you just asked them for bids on that.
Alright, so that's done. Poverty guideline would be the next subject here. Which I talked to Karen about that. Oh, you do have it. One of these. I got
No,
it.
it's right here, poverty guidelines.
So, what came up was, we have to renew this every year supposedly for poverty exemption for 2023.
Yes.
I would suggest going with the federal guidelines before we were doing federal guidelines plus 1.5% or 1.5 times.
Right, so, can I see this for a minute? So, the federal is $13,590 for one person. Last year, we brought it up to, you could add 1.5 times that, and we came, so 1.5 times was 20,000, and we brought it up to that. So anybody that makes less than 20,000, you can come in and you can, go poverty on your taxes. And what the board could do is there's 3 different levels you can do that. Is 100% or 50% of your taxes or 25% of your taxes. You could cut that down as they go. I know last year we talked about that and we actually did the 20,000. I talked to Karen and we didn't have, it's not like a slew of people came in and did it, it was about the same. So, I suggest myself is to go with the higher number, because even with the higher number, you can always, you might get a few more people on it, but you can always just reduce their taxes in either 100% or 50% or 25%. You can actually, there's some adjustment there that the people, the board can do. And, I don't know if Karen can hear us or not, if she wants to elaborate on any of that. It's kinda hard to hear, but.
Can she?
She can.
Oh, yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So basically, last year, if you guys remember correctly, they changed the rules with the poverty exemption guidelines, that they took away the ability to deviate for extenuating circumstances. So, then they required that they could only grant 100%
make a motion that we, go with the 1.5 times.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. The land division for Matt and Sharon Gruden, one we did last September. You wanna elaborate on that?
Does Karen have anything to say on that?
I forgot what they were doing.
I was at the meeting, they have 9.6 acres, and they're supposed to have 10 acres to divide, so we still approved it since, and they were only 4/10 short, so
And
we
basically what they
approved
did,
it.
yeah, and if I remember correctly, they just wanted, they're getting older and they wanna take their house out and give the farmland to their kids, which will add on to the rest of the farmland, if I remember correctly. So,
Right, I remember that now.
yeah.
Any questions on? No? Alright, I'll make a motion that
That's a
we,
good idea.
they're allowed to split their land.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Which brings us to the internet. So, I gotta give this credit to Phil, because Phil actually was doing this ahead of time, and I happened to just fall across it by accident. Is Sean here from IBS?
Yes.
So what's gonna happen here, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's a tower behind the hall, it's for the Monroe County Emergency Management. They're giving that tower to us, but we have to pay the maintenance on it and take care of it. IBS, this internet company, wants to come in and put their internet on it and beam it out to the township, so you can buy through them. By us letting them do that, they'll take care of all the maintenance on the tower. And they'll give our township hall free internet, and for the public, if they want to put it in the parking lot, they can get free internet as well. I don't think that's a bad idea. You wanna discuss any more on that, or bring it up?
Yeah, we come in and take care of that. We're already on the, Cone Road Tower to the east of you. But he wants us off of his tower. He just doesn't wanna deal with us having access to his tower and stuff. So we already have, about 6 to 8 customers in the area already. We just need another tower to be able to get on, to be able quickly to get us off of that tower. So we're looking at, we saw the tower behind there, we found out that it belonged to emergency services. And we approached Phil before, and we started the process with him, but then when Phil passed away, that kind of stalled for a little bit until I got a hold of Mark and, was working with, Monroe County to get that back in place. And then, at this point, we wanna get that up and running, and then you can go to the, what's called ruralreach.net, and you can put in your address and see if you're in there, but we also wanna expand in the area and get more towers, and there's, some future expansion from some big, government projects that are coming up next year where we can actually, expand things, more in this area as far as fiber and, wireless internet.
I think it's a good idea, because we don't have to pay for internet now. I mean, that'll save us some money at the township. Any questions?
Anybody that pulls up can just,
Yeah, they can get it for free out in the parking lot.
I know my internet is no good at home. It's pretty slow.
Is anybody's?
I have rural reach and we love it.
Welcome to the township.
Yeah.
Mark?
Work from home.
What else we use that tower for?
Right now, it's currently not being used at all. It's
Not
been
being
abandoned.
used.
They've abandoned all radio stuff for the
Alright.
Monroe County Emergency.
And by them abandoning it, it becomes our
Right.
venue to take care of it, but they will take care of it. Won't cost us anything. But again, Phil was the one that did all that. I just happened to kind of fall into it on another, mission of mine, so. Any other questions?
Some of us have rural reach and love it, so I think it's a good idea for the township to make it more available.
I make a motion that we, have IBS take over this tower and take care of it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I'm gonna have you bring that up, cause I haven't got a clue what that is.
What's this conservation?
Yeah.
Well, I really don't know either.
I know, I wanna research that before we do anything.
Well, they want us to renew our, food. Called the Monroe Conservation District, and our membership's coming due. Last year, we paid $750, and this year, they want our dues to be $1,000.
For what?
Yeah, I'm gonna call them and find out what's going on with that, so
I
I'd like
don't
to,
know, you've had it every year since I've been here, so I don't know.
yeah, we're gonna check into that.
Alright,
So we can put that on the back burner? Yeah, let's table that.
yeah.
I'll make a motion, we table that until the next meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed? Motion carries. All right, now something else has come up, it's called deep well CO2 moratorium.
That's John Kelly.
Yeah, and where is John? Perfect, come on up.
Well, I can talk from here.
Sure.
A company that is a contractor for DTE has been visiting a number of different farms in the Milan Township area, plus other townships. Generally farms that are over 80 acres and in size, and inquiring about using property for deep injection well carbon capture for CO2. We brought this up to Marty at our November meeting, and he was unsure about, he did not know anything about it. He suggested that we contact DEQ and a few other state agencies that might be involved. I've talked with Lucy Fortin, our planner, and they also are not up to speed on what this is all involves, and they are going to also investigate this project. We have not, I've not heard of any proposals or anything definite. It's from what I understand, Pat Porter was actually visited by this agent, but from what I understand is all they've been doing is basically informing people that we may be in line for a future project of this magnitude. And because of the unknown nature of it, the Planning Commission decided that it would be a reasonable suggestion to the board to put a 2-year moratorium on any deep well injection for carbon capture, projects.
All right, thank you, John. I make a motion that we put a 2-year moratorium on the CO2.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Issues from the board members. I have to go first.
You have to go last.
Go ahead, you're first.
I'd rather go last.
Phil always did.
That's good. You wanna go ahead and go, Bob?
Alright, I have nothing this evening.
Nothing. Olga?
Nothing.
Well, of course I do. can talk. So, I sent your taxes out this last week. I'm sure some of you got them, if not all of you. If you didn't get them, let me know. If you know somebody that didn't get them, let me know. I get you a new one made up. And the reason I say that is I sent this guy out his summer taxes on 6/27, and it came back to me on 11/28. So your mail is just a little bit slow. So just, if you know somebody that doesn't have it, you are responsible to pay your taxes. So they have been sent out. If you didn't get it, like I say, give them. And next week, I'm sure if you don't have it by next week, it's lost in the mail. So, just to let you know, we started the ceiling yesterday in the old part of the building. That should be a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and they should have that done. And the only thing else I wanted to bring up is the pile of stone next to the driveway. I like to spread that out or make a little bit more parking lot instead of just having piles of stone there. I don't think we really need piles there. I know it was set there, they swept up the stone off the road when they seal coat the roads, so. It'd be nice if we spread that out and got rid of it so it doesn't look like just piles of stone there.
Or do you think maybe we should wait till, after winter?
Yeah.
In case we got potholes? Maybe a good idea, or spread some now, if we got any potholes, or.
If you get potholes, you just spread it out again.
Right. Keep some of it in there maybe, or?
It's just crushed, real fine crushed limestone, so. I was just trying to clean it up a little bit, so I don't think we really need piles there. If we need a load of stone, we could probably afford a load of stone for the driveway. So I'm not too worried about that. And next year, they're probably gonna seal coat again, one of our roads, and we'll probably get another pile of it there. I know Phil probably took care of all that and had them dump it there.
Yeah.
Just something to think about. It's nothing to,
We had talked about taking it over to the cemetery and recapping some of that.
Oh,
That might be a bad idea.
there you go.
And the only
Which
problem
one?
with spreading it now is, depending on who you get to snowplow, I always
Right.
stopped before the yard, because then in the spring you always get another pile of stone.
Yes.
So we should probably try to find somebody to do that, I take it, right?
If we want to, yes.
Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea.
Oh, I do too.
The only problem with that is to hire somebody to come over and bring their loader and pick it up, throw their dump truck and drive it over there and then spread it. They might as well just go to the stone company and get some of the better stone and just dump spread it and be done with it. And I'm not saying that stuff's no good, but it's just chips.
Yeah.
And it probably might be alright, but,
Would it not be all right for the application because the road gets used so little?
Right. Right, which cemetery are we talking about, the, Azalea?
No, the rice, they
Oh, the rice
actually,
one?
actually in the spring, we needed to take a load up to Spalding too, which never got done.
Okay,
Well, I'll take a drive out there and look at it, and we'll make a decision from there, how's that sound?
that'd be great.
That's good.
So table it.
Yeah.
I seen a kid on his dirt bike at the Rice Cemetery having a good time the other day. When I catch him, I don't think it was made for a dirt bike track, I don't think.
Yeah, I have to say no.
That's all I got. Pay your taxes.
Build your own.
Nobody's happy.
What do you got, Barb?
Oh, I would like to introduce our, new ordinance Enforcement Officer, Tim Doobie. And, Mr. Doobie, if you would stand up. And he would like to address us.
Well, good evening, folks. Yeah, my name is Tim Doobie. I come to you as your ordinance and blight enforcement. I also am the zoning administrator and blight enforcement and code enforcer in Ida. And I'm in my second of a 4-year elected term as constable in Frenchtown. So, what I've done is before you, I have given a copy of a municipal civil infraction ordinance that has been adopted by other townships. For the simple reason is that sometimes our collection methods in townships for violations are costly. Attorney's fees are outrageous. The judges in Monroe County do not like civil cases. They don't wanna hear civil cases. Attorneys don't like to try civil cases. And Monroe County sheriffs don't like to deal with civil cases. So this ordinance would give power to the township to write civil infractions. The civil infractions are nothing more than a piece of paper saying that you violated an ordinance. You have X amount of days to correct it. If not, there's a fine imposed. Fines for general law ordinances start at $100. And if you commit the same violation within a year, it goes up to $200. You do it again, it goes up to $300. And you keep going, and it does get rather expensive. Zoning ordinances, on the other hand, you violate a zoning ordinance with a setback or a building that's not supposed to be, or don't pull a land use permit, and next thing you know, there's a big pond sitting on the property. Don't have the DEQ authorization or the authorization from Monroe County, then that fine starts out at 1,000 and keeps going up every day that the violation isn't corrected. Now, having said all of that, understand my standpoint, and it is not to run around this township and write everybody violations and tickets, and I have no dog in the fight. I don't look forward to writing anybody a ticket. We can come, we can have a resolution, we can have a conversation about the complaint, get it cleaned up, everybody goes their own way. This is strictly a tool to use for some people that just wake up with a bad attitude. And they've had that bad attitude for the last 30 years. So this is to get their attention. It's a tool for me to use. I don't like having dogs sent out the front door at me. I don't like having people threaten me with shotguns. So this is just a tool that we use. Now, if you decide to adopt it, again, this is here for you to look at tonight. We can have 1 reading, 2 readings, 3 readings, adoption. You can make changes, whatever the case may be. Let me know what the change is going to be. And we can hammer them out when you get this approved. It does come with a cost. Ticket books are free. To set up a ticket book and to get one from a private vendor, 1 book is roughly about $350 for a ticket book, unless you have a printer in Monroe County that can print it, and usually it's a setup fee. So, are there any questions for me?
How many tickets in a book?
I wish.
I would like to recommend that we, turn this over to our planning commission and have them look into it.
I think, I'm gonna say, you were at the planning, didn't they talk about that, Bob, or?
Yeah, only slightly. I mean, send it back to us and we will discuss it more fully.
John has his hand
Oh, John.
Question behind you.
John?
Yes, at the planning commission meeting on Tuesday, we discussed this briefly. Tim, thank you for coming and explaining this. And it was, we had decided that we would discuss it at our January meeting, and we'd like to have you attend the January meetings in order to explain it to the planning commission, so that we can answer everybody's questions. We're going to set it up as a public hearing, so that, because that is required in order to adopt this.
Correct.
And that would then facilitate the process, and at that point, then we can pass it on to the township board for their approval at their February meeting.
Great. Yeah, that'll work. I'll get with you on that.
Yes.
I think that Mrs. Scully already handled that, so if you'll plan to attend the January
January 12th.
12th.
I'm sorry, 10th, January 10th.
January 10th meeting of the planning commission, which will be, I'll have to send you the.
Yeah, you send it to me. I'll be there. I have a meeting in Gaylord on the 11th, but that's
Okay, okay,
neither here nor
all
there.
right, thank you, Tim.
Okay. Do you mind if I address the crowd?
No.
Folks, just to let you know, again, I don't have a dog in this fight. If you have a problem and an issue with blight, please, by all means, contact the township or stop by, fill out the form, because blight in Milan Township is complaint-based. I don't go out looking for trouble. I'm not trying to find it. But if you have a legitimate complaint on an ordinance or blight, you can contact me, hopefully, with the computer changes that have been going on in the township, hopefully my contact information will be on the computer. If not, you can always call the township and get it. You can call me anytime. I may not answer right away, leave me a message, I'll call you back. We can fill out the complaint together over the phone, but it is complaint-based. So, if you need me, call me. If you don't need me, don't bother me.
Thank you.
Tim.
Thank you.
All right, so it's me, right?
Oh, Olga didn't have it, so I
Can't
guess.
have anything.
What about you?
Can't have anything. All right, so I got busy since I started here. I went to 4 Monroe County Road Commission meetings. Some good news is, they got a 5-year plan with an $8 million budget. They're gonna start working on some of our roads, which is kind of a nice thing. I had a concerned resident speak to me about a flashing light at Dennison and Cone. They're gonna try to get us a price on that. It won't be an overhead, but it'll be a blinking stop sign, because we've had, way too many accidents at that intersection. So they're gonna give us a price on that, and the good thing is, we pay once, and someone has an accident, wipes it out, we can go after the insurance company and pay them to replace that, so that's kind of a good thing too. Also, Monroe County Road Commission is getting me the minutes with Phil Heath, the meeting, because he's supposed to put a lift on the roads. And now we can use the ARP money to do so. I talked to Dave Leach down at Superintendent Maintenance, and, he really wants to help us out here, so that's kind of a good thing too. And how I end up with the tower deal, is I called we had a meeting, 2 months ago about the sirens?
Yes.
So I called emergency management, because I was a little concerned that if we took them down, we'd be in violation. We are not. They're only for people who are outside for tornado sirens. They're getting ready to fail. It's what, $22,000 to fix them? I just can't see us spending money on something that's only for people who are outside standing around. You know, as Joel said before, we all got cell phones, they all send you alert. Actually, when I talked to Monroe County Management, they're sending up, it's gonna be like an Amber Alert. It's gonna come across your phone when a bad weather system hits. It's automatically gonna make everybody's phone ring and let you know what's going on, so. They suggested we do take down the towers, and, we'll probably deal with that probably this coming spring. I think it'd be a good idea. I had the Ostranders come, and I paid a little visit to me at the township, and brought up some good little things about the overhead lights not working. I called, DTE 4 times, they finally called me back, and they were coming out to look at it next 3 to 5 business days. So that was interesting. The last thing is, they also brought up a question, which I have no answer for, and I need help. And it's about the poor man's graves. You know, if people don't have money and they bury them, pretty much the township takes that burden over and pays for it, if I'm not mistaken, back in the day. They really don't have very much, but a lot of relatives have been buried there, don't have the money. They're not allowed to put a marker on there or do anything. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I kinda do that for my grandparents, so.
I'll have to read the ordinance over, the cemetery ordinance.
Right, I think it's something if. I
So are
wouldn't-
you suggesting that we change it?
Maybe, well, I'm thinking maybe if the family wants to pay for the original burial, whatever it was, cause back in the day, it probably wasn't very expensive. That then they could put a marker on it. I don't have a problem with that. I don't know, but what do you think, Joel?
Explain that one more time, if you don't have any money to be buried,
Back in the day, the township used to burden the cost.
Right,
And then it was an unmarked grave.
for residents.
Yes. So what they've come up with is if they could pay for the burial back in the day, whatever the cost was, I wouldn't have a problem with it, and then they could put a marker on it for their family.
The burial would have to go according to burial cost today. I don't know what it was back.
I don't even, I'm sure we could dig into it, find something, but I'd like to look into it anyway. I wanna
Good idea.
obviously table it, but I wanna definitely look into it. I think it'd be a good idea.
Yes.
Cause it's not like back in the day when everybody was broke.
Okay,
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a neat. These people down here, they brought that up, I thought it was a good idea. And then, the firefighters we had talked about. Someone emailed me, Wendy Ellington, did I send you a copy of that or not? If not, I can.
What's the date that she emailed?
I just opted out for her on 12/6, I emailed her back. It's about the marijuana ordinance, yeah.
Okay, well, we don't bring that up because it wasn't 72 hours ahead of time.
Well, it was
We
not
can bring
this.
it up next month.
Okay, bring it up next month. It's really no big deal. They just had a question on, ordinance.
Well, we can look at the ordinance and we can answer, we can review it.
Okay. I did, it was easy. It's a marijuana ordinance, we opted out. So once we opted out, we're done, so it's not a big deal.
Oh, okay, well, you can let us know.
And, I wanna talk about that building ordinance. But that's something we probably gotta have a public comment on or not?
What's that?
We have a little error on a website.
Error?
Yeah. There is on our website, page 92 here. Well, and that's the problem. To me, an average person will go to our website, look at the building code, and say, do I need a permit for a roof? No, you don't. It's just like quick facts,
No, you do.
but unfortunately you do. So I'm thinking what we should do to be right with the public would be to take that off our website. And from today back, you get a little amnesty for your windows, siding, and roof. But from here forward, you're required to permit, because that'll be off of there and it's national building code.
That seems fair.
I think it's the fairest thing we can do. I don't know what everybody else thinks.
Seems fair.
Yeah, well, you can't go backwards, that's for sure.
No, I agree. But from this day forward, obviously you need a permit for siding, windows, you basically need it for anything except for painting.
So I think it's just it's on the website and it's just like an error
Yes.
that they wrote in, so, right.
So I say we,
Yeah.
take that off. Yeah, we'll remove it off the website and then have a little amnesty for this day back. From here on forward, I think everyone should be, I think it's the fairest thing to do. Do we have to do a motion on it, or? I think we would, won't we? I would. I make a motion to take the building fact sheet off and give amnesty to our township residents.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. This brings us down to the staff. Any comments?
You having fun yet?
Welcome aboard.
I got to stumble through it, you can too.
Get you a desk.
Is Kevin, you're not the clerk anymore, right?
Nope.
All right, well, I just wanna thank you for all your services you've done over the years. I asked about snow plowing today, and she said you did it for $25 every
No.
crack, which was, really cheap. So, yeah, you've done well more than you had to do over there, and, I appreciate all your work you've done.
I would like to.
Thank you.
Bring up one more thing, if I may. I would like to hire Kevin to be my election assistant. Because, Jenna's just starting, and I don't know if she has any background in election. And, I understand we're gonna be having an election maybe in May, so we need somebody, so I would like to hire Kevin as the election assistant. So he can come in and work and help do it.
Sure, he knows how to do it, for sure.
You been up for that, Kevin?
Yeah, I told her, yeah.
I do appreciate your help, man, you helped me out a lot so far. At least point me in the right direction.
I appreciate you too, Kevin.
Thanks, John.
And so it will be, we'll have to figure out how much between now and the end of the year, and then we'll put it in the budget.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, I said I would like to make a motion. I wanna make a motion that we have Kevin be the election assistant.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now we're up to public comment. For 3 minutes for anybody.
She doesn't get up, she doesn't.
Yeah.
I'd like to request a microphone. I have excellent hearing for an old lady, but he's been sitting here with his hearing aids for an hour, he hasn't heard crack, cause he went to sleep most of the time. So I would really, really like to have microphones for the people that can't hear.
I would second that motion.
And you can get close enough to use them. That's one of the problems in London Township, they've got them, but, you know, at the clear across the table. As you see, I don't need a microphone. Never have. Next question, what is the status of the, 1327 solar ordinance? I thought maybe you guys would talk about it. I mean, last month it was brought up, it was a tie vote, so therefore they failed. So it can definitely be brought up again, since no action was technically taken on it. So I'd like to ask what the status is of it.
Yeah, we could answer that. I mean, we extended the moratorium because the planning commission's gotta go back to work on that. They came up
No,
with.
they're working on the amendments. They're not working on the original. We want the original rescinded because of problems.
They're working.
Okay.
We want 1327 to be rescinded, they're working on 1329 right now.
Okay.
Okay, next question. I'm gonna break in, because I talk like I emailed, I've been doing the same thing. The website needs a lot of help. It's very frustrating. Some of us people sit home and do a lot of computer things and depend a lot on that. And John will say something that's going to be on the website from the planning commission, well, it must be hidden, cause I can't find it. So I would really, really, really like the website gotten up to date.
And I agree with you, I tried all day to get the correct agenda on it, I sent it, 13 times.
Oh my.
I sent it 13 times and could never get the correct agenda on it.
Plus, there's still stuff, and I think me and Kevin figured out, the code the lady was using. If it's all in capitals, if a certain section is all in capitals, the information isn't there. But if it's normal, capital and small, then, it's fairly there. Not the greatest in the world, but passable. And there's some spelling errors, concerns instead of concerns. That's an easy correction, I would think so.
Okay. Well, thank you. We will look into that.
Okay, thank you. And I appreciate you communicating with me, Mark. That's refreshing to send an email and actually get an answer. And just because I CC you on all the many, many emails I send, doesn't mean you have to answer me. I appreciate it.
No, I'm trying to keep up with everything. It's, definitely a challenge, but we're gonna get through it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next.
Yeah, on this blight ordinance stuff, if you would, maybe consider.
Name?
Tim Stoll, Milan Township. Consider taking off the, name of the person who turned somebody in for blight. I think that would encourage some people. It doesn't affect me, cause I really don't give two craps about it. I'll turn them in if I need to. But some people would probably rather their name not be thrown out there to the person that, I mean, that's how it is right now in the ordinance. That could be changed.
Go ahead and answer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then just a heads up on how I do business. Yeah, you fill out the form, you put your name on there, that way I can talk to you one-to-one, human being. I do not forward that information to the complainee on my investigation.
Okay, 'cause that's
If
how-
somebody says, well, who complained? Well, that's privileged information. All you need to know is you need to fix what we're talking about.
Well, that's how the township's done it.
Yeah, I do not disclose anybody's name that fills out a form. That form is between me and the township.
Thank you.
Isn't it public information though, if it's filled out with the township?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It does not.
You're absolutely sure.
Does not fall under,
That-
does
that
not fall.
information definitely can be FOIA, so,
Okay.
I agree with Tim.
Yeah,
that-
it eventually, it could fall under FOIA, but 9 times out of 10, once the issue has been resolved, then that complaint form goes in the shredder.
Anybody else?
Charlene Dickerson, Milan Township. To Aretta's point, the website is a disappointment, has been. I don't know what the minutes are on it now, but it's, when you can't attend the meetings, you don't know what's going on for months. So it needs to be addressed. And also, if we're gonna come to these meetings, you need to either speak up, get the table toward the front of the room, or get some microphones and know how to use them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody over in the corner there.
Go ahead.
Hi, Chris Warnbeck, Milan Township. If I'm understanding everything correctly tonight, once again, our board, or our township, has refused wise counsel, number one, from the attorney for the township. You refused wise counsel from that attorney. We have an attorney here tonight, you refused wise counsel from this attorney. You have refused wise counsel from your township membership. Again and again, and so I'm gonna say this. The book I was talking about gives wise counsel. And you're not listening. It says that the love of money is the root of all evil. You guys aren't listening. You gotta listen to your people. If nothing else, we have the say, not you. It's getting overwhelming. You guys are not listening to your own attorney. You just throw them out. What gives? Are you really that evil?
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Welcome to the board, Mark. Thank you for accepting the position. Cheryl Majors, Milan Township. Sorry. I thought that at the planning commission that we discussed rescinding the ordinance, and yet it didn't get discussed. We talked about the 2-year moratorium on the CO2, and that got discussed, but I don't know where the communication gap was there about rescinding that ordinance. So I think it was supposedly addressed, I don't know, but didn't get on the agenda? Or are we not gonna address that until February? I don't know what the procedure is on that.
I'm gonna have to, yeah, the plan commission's back in their hands to go through it. And John, you wanna speak on that, John?
I will.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Oh, okay. Regarding the, proposal to amend the township ordinances by repealing 1327, the large solar energy system ordinance. The new amendment was presented at Tuesday's meeting to rescind the 1327 and replace it with 1329, which is identical to 1327 except with the ag zoning districts removed. So we discussed it at the meeting, and it is scheduled for a public hearing at our February 7th meeting, at which time I anticipate that we will then make a recommendation at that meeting and pass it on to you at your February 9th board meeting.
Thank you.
I owe an apology. I misunderstood the vote earlier, I'm very sorry.
I couldn't hear you.
He
You
said,
speak up, please.
sorry, he misunderstood the vote earlier, he thought it was the other way.
Oh, no, there's a moratorium on it. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
John Schauer. First, as a citizen, I'd like to say that we have some major potholes on Farr Road, right next to, just north of Cone, and also just south of Hickory. They've been there for, the one by Cone Road is gets filled in, and it's right away, it's a major pothole, a significant pothole again, and the one by Hickory Road, just south of Hickory Road, has been, there was a culvert or something that was put across the road, and it's, basically the whole patch or whatever is a pothole across the entire road and needs to be filled in. So that's my citizen commentary. And then I would also, as Planning Commission Chairman, I'd like to read a letter that I sent to the clerk this morning. And it has, this is to Barb Collins, clerk of Milan Township. It has come to my attention that various members of the Milan Township Planning Commission have obligated the township to expense money without authorization from either the Planning Commission chairperson nor from the township clerk. These expense obligations pertain to billable hours from the township attorney. These billable hours were conducted without the knowledge nor approval from the PC chairman nor from the township clerk. Past decisions from the township board have limited the spending of township money to the PC chairman with prior approval from the clerk. I'm requesting that the township board reaffirm that actions which result in financial obligations to the township shall be approved by the township clerk prior to those actions. I sent that to her this morning, so.
Thank you, John.
Yes, you do.
We gotta check into that.
We're gonna bring it up this month.
Okay.
Thank you, John.
Anybody else?
Al Lindeman, Milan Township. Ed, I don't know where this falls, but since deer season has started, my blind is very close to a set of railroad tracks on my property. But it seems like Platte Road, Petersburg Road, and sometimes Hickory are blocked for long, long periods of time.
At the same time.
Yes, all at the same time.
Yes.
My concern is elderly people, house fires, who's gonna be liable when they get a good lawyer, cause their house is on the ground, and it should have taken the fire department or emergency response, it should have taken them 4 minutes to get there, and it took them 15, cause they had to go all the way around the township? What can be done about that happening? It used to be that they had so long, and then there was a fine that started. And I don't know if the railroad just has that much money that they don't care about the fines, which is possible, but I don't know who would look into that, or maybe the fire chief, I don't know, but
It's a significant amount of time.
it's gonna cost somebody property or their life before something happens, or something is done about it, and that's just a concern of mine.
And that's on Platte Road, and what's the other road?
Well, it usually blocks Platte Road, Petersburg Road, and Hickory. And sets there. That's three places they can't get across, so you go down to Wabash and come back around, I guess.
Sometimes it's even Wabash.
Sometimes it is Wabash, or it's a different train at Wabash, cause
Right,
there's
there's multiple tracks, oh, I know, I
Right.
live right there too.
Yes.
I will have to say that Dennison Road only has a single track, so that is always open unless they're moving.
You're correct.
Yeah, but for Milan to go all the way around that,
I get it, I know on the fire department,
My house.
when I was on that, there wasn't anything we could do back in the day. What, you know, we can look into it and see what they can do. I don't know who you call, because if you had to move the train and you got another train coming the other way,
Well,
it'd be
well,
tough.
recently, they stood right on, Platte Road, that train didn't move for 4 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 days straight, it stayed, the same train stayed there, never moved.
You're exactly correct, cause I hunted those 4 days.
I live right there, and I take that every
And
day.
it just seems like it's been recent, like, you know,
Right, it's more and more,
it's
for
more
sure.
and more. So I don't know, before it was just, you know, we kind of kicked the railroad in the butt a little bit, they didn't cause a ruckus for a while, but now it's
Tracks
significant.
crossing.
I'm sure Bobby Stevens from the fire department could probably elaborate on that if he was here.
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll definitely look into that, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, you wanna adjourn the meeting? I guess I gotta do that.
No, anyway, I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second. Hold.
Oh,
Is next month's meeting at the township hall or here?
Not determined yet, we're hoping
yeah,
the hall.
we're gonna be right close, we just gotta get the ceiling done, and my electrician's a little bit backlogged.
Here.
No, it's gonna be.
44 people?
Yeah,
Got
gotta
more
be
than
here.
44 here tonight.
Yeah, so it'll probably be right back here then.
Okay.
Yeah.
With a microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give you a